Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now I'm here today in my workshop getting ready for a little bit of an experiment. And when I say a little bit of an experiment, what I really mean is a brand new hobby for something that I've literally never ever even tried. Now if you've been following my channel for a while, you've probably heard me say the reason why my channel name is Outer Limitless is because I never want to find my outer limits. I always want to grow and expand and learn new things, and that's exactly what today's video is about. Now I'm not so much of an artist, but that's what I'm going to start to do. I have never as much as even made a painting, with the exception of probably in like middle school or high school, and obviously as a tiny little kid, but in my grown adult life, I've never ever painted a single thing. But I've been watching different videos on different techniques, and there's a few things that I really want to try. So at this point, I have literally just bought the supplies I need to even do this in the first place. Cost me about 180 bucks to get everything I need just to get started here on purely an experiment. But I figure what the hell, the only way to do this is to really dig in, go all in, and give it a try. Now, if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. So yeah, as I mentioned, for somebody who's not at all an artist, I mean, I make videos and I go camping and backpacking and hiking, and you know, I've designed some knives at this point, and I'm getting into the outdoor and gear genre. However, this painting concept to me is something that over time, I think you'll see where I'm going with it. But in the meantime, I need to learn some techniques. So what I'm doing is some acrylic pouring techniques. Now I've watched probably 100+ videos on this. There are a ton of different ways to go about it. I have no idea if the supplies I have even are what I need, but I am going to use these to try some acrylic pouring techniques. Here I have some canvases, so 11 by 14 canvases, which, to be honest, I kind of wanted bigger canvases to start, but this is what I could afford. I got myself a bunch of different colors that I can mix and match and hopefully get things started. Some squeeze bottles. I got some mixing cups, some stirring sticks. I have here some Floetrol. Hell, if I even know what this really does. I know I need to use it, but I don't even know really what it does. I kind of know. And here, a Lazy Susan. Well, what does painting and a Lazy Susan have to do? Well, there again comes the challenge. A number of different techniques. Oh, and yeah, maybe some silicone. I don't even know if this is 100%. I'm supposed to have 100%. I'm a dude that goes to Home Depot. I see this out there. So it's really a lubricant, but silicone, mix it in the paint, see what happens. Who cares? Just give it a try. But anyway, my point being, there are a number of different techniques that I'm going to go through. And to start, I have an idea that I really want to try, and no better way than to work on the Outer Limitless logo. Alright, so most things I do, I take a strategic approach to understanding. And having never done this before, this is going to be no different. I mean, I just have to take my time and figure things out. So first off, the colors. I mean, for me, my first take at this, I kind of like camouflagey colors, but I also want a little bit of pop. So here I have some Mars Black, Burnt Umber, Emerald Green, Chrome Yellow, and here the Titanium White. So to me, I should be able to make some decent camouflage colors with a little bit of pop, the white being the base, so that it sits on a bright color, and a little bit of yellow mixed in just to have that added pop. So that's the first thing. I'm going to use this crazy silicone. I have no idea if it's going to work. I have my Floetrol, so the Floetrol. Now, these solo cups I know are 18 ounces. So that takes 6 3-ounce cups to fill them. That's kind of my goal. That's the sort of basic I'm going by. But I wasn't sure about the actual paint and consistency. So the paint I have here is a heavy-bodied acrylic paint. Here, Saks. I don't know if it's any good, but it's what I bought. So Saks True Flow heavy-bodied acrylic. Now, I've just done a basic experiment and said, what happens when I mix 1 to 1 to 1, 1 ounce of paint, 1 ounce of water, and 1 ounce of Floetrol? So I weighed it on the scale, and I know you need a certain consistency. Now, mixing this up, it looks to me, based on all the things I've seen, even though I thought this was going to be really thin at first, I actually think that's about right. So I'm not sure at all, but I'm going to take the scientific approach to saying if I mix 1 to 1 to 1 to get me started, I think I have something that's going to work. Now, silicone, hard to say. I don't even know my color order yet, but what I know is I need my different colors, and I'm going to need a little extra white. So I'm going to make a second white cup. That's going to be really where I start. I'm going to brush all that paint on, get this canvas pre-coated, and then figure out the order of my paint. So next thing, all I'm literally going to do is weigh up a 1 to 1 to 1 paint to water to Floetrol mixture, mix them all up, and we'll go from there. Okay, so what I'm doing is basically the water and the paint first, and I'm mixing that real good, and then I'm adding the Floetrol after. If you look at these cups, they're kind of small, so if I do it in a little bit of a batch, it'll get me a better mix of the paint with the water to start, then add the Floetrol afterwards. So one of the things is, as you look, now that I've added the water and the paint, it's not quite the right consistency. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea, actually, to be honest with you. But what I found is adding the Floetrol actually fixes the consistency and makes it about perfect. So this seems a little thin, but then adding that Floetrol actually makes it just about right. Now you can see here with the popsicle stick 2.1 ounces. So I'll just go to 3.1 ounces, I guess, right? And look, this stuff's kind of like glue. I guess that's why some people use glue as a pouring medium. Seems about right. I mean, it's literally like a watered down glue. And there's your, that's about as far as I can go. This cup's to the brim. And now I'll mix this real nice, and that'll be my first batch of white. And so nicely mixed here. You'll see, I think that's about what you're looking for. So it kind of drizzles and sits on top of the cup for just about a second and then just sinks in. I don't know. Complete experiment, but that's what I got. The white is a little difficult to mix because obviously white Floetrol and white paint are hard to see. You can kind of see a little bit of differentiation in the swirling in there, but by mixing the other colors, what I can tell you definitively is you kind of got to mix and stir from the very top. There was a little technique that I kind of developed where I just kind of scrape against the side of the cup as I mix, and it creates just a little bit of turbulence to help it stir and mix. And so all of these now have been mixed up. However, I am going to mix them all and stir them a second time. I think a little bit of patience and just doing it carefully will pay off in the end. So just so carefully stirring that now. I'm just going to slide that one to the back so I can keep track here. But as I go down and through, again, just going to take a nice quick stir at all the rest of these, get them mixed up a second time, and at that point, I'll be ready to go. Okay, so the next step for me is one that I've not really found the answer on, and that's getting paint coverage on the canvas to begin with. Do you use like the paint mixture with the water and the Floetrol, or do you just use like straight up heavy bodied acrylic? I have no idea. So what I'm gonna do is screw it, just go for it. So I'm just gonna like put a bunch on here. Oh, that was weird. And just paint it on, I guess. I just have a crappy brush. Let's see, I don't even know how much paint to put on a painting like this. I have no idea how much you need. So, whoop, there goes my stand mechanism. That didn't last long. And it looks to me like the amount of paint I put on here should be just about right. So I'm going to paint the entire thing, top and sides, get this pre-painted with the heavy body, not the mixture, but just the heavy body, and we'll go from there. I probably put just a little bit too much, but yeah, it is what it is. Live and learn, right? All right, so now I got the canvas covered, and that was just about the perfect amount of paint. I had about a daub's worth too much. So I feel good about that. Coated all the sides, coated the top, and now I'm ready to prepare my cups into the larger solo cup. Now, I do have 2 whites, the reason being, one of them, I think I'm going to pre-pour a puddle in the middle of this, and that puddle is going to ooze towards the outside. I actually want to shift everything up here more towards the middle here. If I make a mess, I don't care. I just have the paper down because this is actually a dusty workshop, just trying to keep the dust off the painting more than anything. However, I need to pick an order for these, and I also need to think about the silicone. Now, the reason for the silicone is to help me create cells, which adds the unique and interesting character to this painting. So order is going to be very important to me. So the first thing is, one of these is to literally just pour in the middle, and the rest are going in the cup. Now, it's kind of, in a way, sort of reverse order. So what's on the bottom comes out last. Now, I want that to be my highlights. So I think I'm going to do the white in the bottom of the cup. So that's going to be the highlight. However, I also kind of want it to make some rings. So I'm going to do like a ring pour. That's the first thing. So what style am I going for? Well, there's different things you can do. You can do a flip cup and all these different crazy techniques. I'm just going to pour some rings and see how that comes out. So doing the ring pour, what I'm going to start with is, I think I need to go with a color first, actually. I think I'm going to go with the brown. So brown in the bottom. Then my 2 colors, I'm going to go right in order, actually. Brown, green, yellow, white, black. Let's just go for it. So what about the silicone? Well, I don't want it in the entire thing. Sure, why not? How's about 2 drops in each? Let's go for it. So 2 drops in each, huh? What does that even look like? Well, let's just flip this thing over. 1, 2. Is that really enough? 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2. This is probably like motor oil. No, just kidding. It might have an additive in it. I have no idea what Home Depot sells, but that's what I bought. That's what I got. I'm not going to really mix that in so much. Rather just kind of dip it in a couple times in each one of these. So give it the 2-dip method. And I don't know. What's that for? Is that for good luck? I don't even know. 2 dips for good luck, right? And now let's pour into my cup. So again, I'm a complete novice here, but what I think I know is if I just pour into the side of the cup as I go, it's going to help with keeping the colors literally separated. So I'm going to pour each one of these into the side of the cup. Have a little extra paint if I need it. So the brown, the green, and that's the thing that's kind of amazing that I found with these acrylic paint pours, is that these colors really do stay kind of separate. And if you do it right and your mixtures are right, they don't blend a ton, but then there's different techniques you can use to blend them or get them to kind of merge. So, I don't know. Again, I'm a guy who likes to learn. I'm a guy who likes to experiment. I have no idea what I'm actually really doing. I'm just faking the funk here, having some fun, learning a new technique, and bringing my viewers on a little bit of this journey. But so far, pretty cool. So far, my setup has taken me, even while filming, ballpark a little bit less, probably right around a half an hour. So if you're curious how long this takes, I'm into this for just about half an hour or so. So let's let that sit for just a second here, and then we'll move into the pour. Okay, let's see what happens here. So this is when the mess happens. So I'm just going to pre-pour this puddle right in the middle of the canvas. Slide that aside. And I am going to pour my cup at about a 45-degree angle so that the colors kind of start to mix. And I'm going to try to swirl this thing together. And when you see people doing a real smooth, even pour. I can tell you already, it's not as easy as it looks. Look at the globs, I'm like kind of not smooth at all. But already that is really cool. Really, really unique and very interesting. So far, no brown. Does not look like camouflage. I'm not sure what I'm really trying to achieve with this color. Oh, it's just pouring off the side. I wonder if this is too thin. I wonder if this is too thin. Definitely pouring right off the side of the canvas. Or maybe I just have too much paint. Look at the middle of that. What a disaster. Here comes the brown. This is not what I was thinking it would be at all. Not even in the least. But there are some rings. And it is kind of cool. So very, very neat. Let's see what happens. We'll keep pouring here. And I'll hope for the best. Let's just go with it. It's too late now. Alright, so at this point I'm in the middle of not perfection. However, that is the fun thing about this. It doesn't actually, look at my brush. It doesn't have to be perfect. I wonder if I should just put a little paint in the corners here to help me move this thing around. This is what everybody does, start stretching their paintings out. Well, this certainly looks like it should stretch out pretty well for me. I got plenty of paint here. That is not a pretty sight. Let's see what happens. Get this to move into the corners, and that's what people say is you need some paint in the corners to actually get it to move there. So I got plenty of it on the table. So let's just, I ain't gonna hurt anything. This is not a piece of art just yet, so this is not gonna hurt a single thing. So let's go with this and see what happens. Sliding that over the corner. This is one crazy mess, that's for sure. And I think the question is, how far do you go and stretch this stuff? Wow. Well, I'm actually kind of happy with the way the right hand side is coming. That looks cool. Maybe if I just stretch this out even further, the middle will come out a little bit better. Who knows? The rings in the corners are pretty sweet. It's really the middle that I kind of messed up. What a disaster. This is not great. I will make this work. Alright, so what if I go for broke here? What if I add some like yellow swirls? This is not going to make it any better. This is ridiculous is what this is. Oh my god. I wonder if the water is where I went wrong. Who knows? Anyway, let's just stretch this thing out even more. Let's just go as far as I can in like one direction and just get this. I mean, that's the interesting thing. This definitely just flows when you get it going. And I think the interest in this piece would come from stretching this out and getting some bigger rings, because this glob here in the bottom right corner now is not what I was going for at all. So how far will this slide? It doesn't move very fast actually, but that's improving. If I can get that brown blob to about the middle and stretch out the rest. Let's see, get that brown blob off the middle here, really into the corner. That's not too bad. So I actually just got to clean up a little bit here, and I'm just going to let this sit, kind of see what it does. Maybe some cells will pop out, and maybe that'll help with the interest. Well, so far I don't really see any cells, which makes me think maybe I just purely have the completely wrong silicone, but I do have this torch here, and so I don't know, let's just hit it real quick and see what happens. Little baby torch. I don't really have a good one. Learn and figure out what I need, but just start with this for now. I do see what looks to be burning it more than cells, but yeah, it's making some little cells here. Alright, well, if all else fails, let's go to the hot air gun method. I don't know what's going to happen here either. I can tell you, this part of the painting is not art. The rest of it's got hope. So again, nothing really spectacular happening here, but can I like stretch this anymore, or am I done? This doesn't seem to even be moving anymore. I think I'm done. I don't think this will stretch anymore. Maybe I used the wrong paint in the base. Maybe the base was supposed to be with Floetrol. I don't know. If somebody's watching this, certainly let me know. And chances are, by the time I get the answer, I will probably have already figured it out, because I can tell you next time that's exactly what I'm going to do. But anyway, just cleaning up the base of this painting here. Not painting. I don't even know what you call this. This is not a painting. It's paint on a canvas. Yeah, we'll go from here. And the other part of me said, well, why am I going to quit now? So, like, if I put this on this Lazy Susan here, can I, like, spin this and make something happen? I think I'm already at the point of, like, no return, but what the hell, I don't care. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, see, I think the bulk of my paint movement here is done. Oh, no, it's coming. All right. So, let's just go for it. It can't be any worse, right? Might as well experiment and learn. See a lot of brown coming off. It's probably a good thing. Hopefully the painting doesn't come flying off at me. Okay. Subtly improved. Barely. Alright, one more. Oh, what a wreck. What a wreck. Well, this is how it starts. Experimentation. So, painting number one, voila. It's called paint on a canvas. This is not a painting. Alright, so here is my dry painting. And again, is it a painting or is this just paint on a canvas? Well, It's a little of both. Let's just say you need to make some mistakes to learn, and I've definitely learned quite a bit actually from this very first experiment. Now, I'm not completely done with this. If you listen to what I had said, basically I said, well, I'm going to work on my logo. That does not look very much like my logo, no, but I'm not done with this. There is some additional technique that I would like to learn. So even though this did not come out perfect, it's still a great platform for me to learn additional techniques. So my next step will be to create a stencil on top of this, and to actually put my logo in with the acrylic poured painting as the background. So this actually, I hope, might still come out really cool, even though I didn't get some of the desired result I'm looking for. I think there's still a lot of promise for this to be an excellent finished piece. Now, some of the banding did work out fairly well. If you look in the corners, I did some things all right. I mean, that came out okay. I do like some of these nice swirls and the way the paint has a little bit of translucence. If you look, there are in spots maybe some baby little cells. Nothing significant, nothing all too fun. That's one thing that did not work out great for this particular painting, but you know, not a big deal. The corner here, that was just a big mess up. I mean, there was really probably a million other ways I should have approached it, but I didn't. That's what I ended up with. But overall, I have to say, there is really only one way to learn, and that's through doing. Bottom line is, this is a great place to start. So, all right, guys, there you have it. A first look at my first attempt at some acrylic pouring techniques. Again, not perfect, but I'm definitely on my way. And moving forward, I know I'll make some great adjustments. So I hope you enjoyed that. It, for me, was something that I hope just continues. I'll continue to grow. I'll continue to learn. And hopefully by the end of this process, I'll actually kind of make a painting, not just some paint on a canvas. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.